Here at Old English Tiles, we actually bring in tiles from manufacturers abroad. We sort them all out into what they are, 341 different products. We get orders from our customers, we repack them, and we send them off.
Okay, and who are your clients?
Okay, we have around 300 retail tile shops that we supply, plus tile specialist contractors, various tile fitters, a few specialists in Victorian floors we supply, and we also sell on e-commerce and through our own retail shop.
Okay. So how would you describe, how do the orders actually come into your business?
Right, normally we'll leave the e-commerce aside for a moment. We normally actually insist on an order being faxed to us or emailed, so we've actually got it in writing. We don't like taking telephone orders. Order comes in here, we enter all the details into our system. That actually prints out a list of what the client wants. We fax that back to them to check that the order's correct. They then know all the costs involved, delivery charges if any, plus the total retail price, plus the total trade price, so they know what to charge their customer. If they come back to us and say, yeah, we're absolutely happy with that, we then actually print a picking list that comes down to the warehouse for the order to be picked and packed and checked and sent off.
Okay, and so in terms of your products, how do you know what to stock?
Yes, an excellent question, and something that's actually given us quite an interesting problem in the last couple of years. When we went into recession, we were stocking around about 2 million tiles at any one time. By the time we came out of recession, we were down to about 1.5 million, because that's a lot of stock. At retail value, we keep around about £600,000 to £700,000 worth of retail stock in it. Obviously, a recession, all of a sudden you say, I don't want to tie that money up in stock, so you have to adjust that. It's a very interesting one. We put together quite an interesting stock control system that had certain trigger levels. When the stock dropped to it, it automatically kicked up that it needed ordering. And obviously, in recessionary times, we had to actually reduce those trigger levels. They're now going back up again, and we're trying to claw our way back up to more realistic stock levels.
Right.
So our system is automated from that point of view. Once a week, we actually run a check. The stock will actually trigger up items with a big purple M to say it's time to order, and we actually go through, we have a look at it. Quite often what we do nowadays is we'll actually look back across the history for that particular item, so we can see if it's changed maybe over 6 months, if volumes have gone up. Quite often the warehouse will point up, my God, we're getting through this stuff a lot quicker. So we monitor it on a regular basis. Once a month we actually review our trigger levels to reflect the volume of sales that are going down at the moment.
Is it seasonal, these type of things?
Yes, very seasonal, extraordinarily enough. Although one thing we have found out in the last 10 years is that people tend to buy tiles when the sun shines. But I have no idea for that. So first 3 months of the year are very quiet for us. Right. Come May, everything starts to gallop, and then we rush through. Really starts to tail off around November time, and we're back quiet again in December.
Right. So from the logistics side, when you get an order coming in, when you get your suppliers supplying you with tiles, how do you bring them into the company, and how do you bring them into your systems?
Sure. Okay. It's very interesting, actually. Our main supplier is French. They certainly have a slightly different business model to us. We have generally maybe around 40, 50, even up to 100 tonnes outstanding at any one time. They do the production to suit them, not necessarily to suit us. So we can't guarantee that when we've got outstanding order, the next delivery will include everything. In fact, it generally doesn't. We generally get about half what we want at any one time. So we get notified that, let's say for the sake of argument, they've got 35 tonnes to collect. We contact our delivery company. Now, our delivery company is actually an international trucking company down near Channel ports, but generally they'll actually use a subcontractor. So it does introduce another wobbly. Sometimes it's an English subcontractor, sometimes it's French, sometimes it's the Austrian. And the earliest they can pick it up, we get them in there, and the next day it's generally here.
Right.
The irony of this delivery system is that although the factory in northern France is actually nearer to us than Birmingham, that 22 miles of water in the middle makes an enormous difference on the logistics. And we will pay typically around £65 a tonne to bring it in, whereas if you shipped it from, say, Shanghai to Tilbury, it probably only cost you 20.